My girlfriend just asked for an open relationship, so told her it's over and pointed her to the streets. So, I, 43M, have been with Fran, 36F, for the last 2.5 years. I thought that things were moving smoothly, and was about to ask her if she wanted to move in together, but she has been acting rather distant lately, so I decided to wait a little and see if she would bring something up. Out of nowhere, this last Friday, she asked me to open the relationship. She gave me her big speech, and when she finished her presentation, I asked her if she already had someone in mind, because it's not like we decided today and are basically going out with other people tomorrow. Essentially, I tricked her into telling me what I already knew, and yes, she already has someone in mind, which means to me that either she already did it, or she has it all set up. So I got up, and walked around the apartment while she was trying to sell the idea that this could be good for both of us in our relationship, and by the time she finished talking, I handed her one of my sports bags with all her stuff in it, and told her to leave the spare key on the table on her way out, that we are done, and she knows why. Then I went to the couch and turned on the TV, just trying to look indifferent and to save face. She was speechless for a while, about to cry, but before she could say something, I told her that I didn't want to talk about anything, and that she should leave. As soon as she left, I felt like crap, like I was so unworthy, and I started to cry a little. As of right now, I'm still mourning. My phone has been almost nuclear with all the calls and texts I received from friends on both sides about my extreme reaction to her supposedly simple request. I don't know what she told them. So now I'm sitting, wondering if I really went overboard and, at the same time, fighting the urge to run back to her. Because deep inside, even though I know my feelings for her are still there, the trust is gone, and I'm not going to spend all my time watching her movements. It's not healthy, and before anyone points it out, yes, I know my reaction is a pure reflection of me, not what she did or was about to do. So, did I go overboard? Update 1. Last Friday, we met at our regular place where we usually have coffee. From a distance, she looked great, so great that I just wanted to forget everything that happened and drag her back to my place. It actually took a lot of restraint to not do it. When I got close to her, I noticed her sadness, and she still had her eyes irritated from crying. We sat, and before she could say a word, I asked her to tell me the entire story, and pleaded with her not to leave anything out. I needed to hear it all, and then I would ask her a few questions, needing the entire truth. The story was pretty basic. About 2 months before she asked for the open relationship, on her girls' dancing night out, they met this exotic, good-looking guy. During the first month, he was the new flavor that all the single friends in the group were trying out, which led to girls talking and sharing experiences. Eventually, this guy, who was having his way with all the girls around him, set his eyes on Fran, and began to flirt with her, taking her to the dance floor and having fun. Well, here is where she should have stopped things, because we had an agreement about dancing nights. She was supposed to stay away from any guys that made a move on her because, let's face it, we guys are always looking for something more, and it's pretty rare that a guy only wants to dance. Anyway, because of the excitement, she went for it, enjoyed the attention of this guy, and had a great time dancing. Looking at the timeline, this was around the time I noticed that Fran was becoming distant. Moving forward a few weeks, her friends were sharing more intimate stories about this guy, and it got into her mind. She found herself fantasizing about being with him, and he was trying to make a move on her too, but from what she told me, she didn't go for it because she was with me. Drinks and drunken friends are bad counselors, and once the idea of opening the relationship came out, they spent over 2 weeks chatting about how to convince me. They believed that because a long time ago, I had three-way intimacy and also swung a little, I should be okay with the idea of opening the relationship. However, three-way intimacy and swinging are things you do as a couple and out of pure excitement, at least for me, and it was a long time ago, in my early 20s. All this led to the day she asked me to open the relationship. She told me that she and her friends never thought that I would end the relationship at that moment, that the worst scenario would be me getting angry and saying no, so it shouldn't have been a big deal in just asking. At this point, I interrupt her and tell her that she should know better. We were together for over 2 years, and I always share my thoughts about everything with her. For context, maybe about a year ago, we had a couple of friends in a similar situation. For about a month, that was the main discussion in our group of friends, and every time it was brought up, I said that if one person in a committed relationship wants to be with other people, then that person should just break up and leave. Anyway, I explained to her that I didn't break up with her because of the question. I did it because there was already a guy. So, for me, that was a major trust issue. If this concern had arisen naturally, maybe we could have worked it out. In the worst scenario, perhaps we could have found an alternative. But the way things were, it was a red flag for me. We went around the topic for a while, and then I began to question her. Basically, I asked if she was intimate with him at some point, and she said she wasn't. If she developed some feelings for him, she didn't. And lastly, if she has seen this guy again, and that was also a no. Even if that isn't much, it was a small relief, but I explained to her that I can't go back to her, and that I need to close this for my own health. Also, I told her that we share a lot of friends, and I don't want to lose any of them because of this. It wouldn't be fair to ask them to choose, so we should behave like adults and keep things friendly. Then she said how sorry she was, and that if she could, she would undo everything, but she knew it can't be done. She was about to cry, and I was too, so it was a good moment to ask for the check and leave. I walked her to her car, opened the door for her, and she started crying right then and there. I couldn't help but hug her. We stood there for about 10 minutes, and when she calmed down, she got into her car and drove away. I was in shock and didn't know how to feel, so I went home, grabbed my camping gear, and drove to the mountains, spending the entire weekend there to clear my mind. Early this morning, I was driving back to the city, and the moment my phone grabbed a signal, it got flooded with messages from friends and family, all worried because I basically disappeared without telling anybody. I texted back to everyone, telling them that I was okay, that I went out camping, and at the moment, I was driving to work. Also, I got a text from her, something along the lines that she feels that we are not over yet, and that she thinks I need time to leave all this behind me. She said she will wait in the hope of it. I haven't texted her back because I'm pretty sure I'm done, but experience has taught me to never say never. So for now, I'm going to take it easy, doing what I like, and see where things take me. Update 2. Hello, it's been a while, and I came across several messages. Some were asking what I was up to, others were giving advice and encouragement, and of course, there were those asking for an update. After almost a month and a half of grappling with the matter, I still didn't have things very clear. Fortunately, that's what best friends are for. I had a conversation with Clau and her husband Pete, my two best friends, and after a while of talking, they said, "You have to let her go. You know very well that in your head, you will always be wondering what happened and if you are really all that she wants. Regardless of whether that's the case, you'll never be sure." They also said something about how the only reason I haven't let her go is that I don't want to be alone, and to be very honest, all of that is true. I gave the situation a couple more thoughts that week, and then I went to talk to Fran. I simply told her that clearly, at this moment in life, we wanted different things, and it was better for each of us to continue on our own way without any resentments or bad feelings. I gave a clear goodbye, and she obviously didn't like what I said, and she got sad, but that's just life. She has to process her emotions, and I have to process mine. I was in an emotional low for a while, and I focused on work, but things have slowly improved. No, I'm not seeing anyone, and I have no intentions anytime soon. I think it's a good opportunity to behave like an immature 15-year-old in the body of a 43-year-old, play video games, go camping, and be the envy of all my friends whose wives or partners don't let them go out to play. So that's all. Thanks everyone.